Alright guys, so we've had our overview of the tech tree, and now we're going to hop into some games. So we're going to look at the Daimler Armored Car lineup, and this is my low-ranking lineup. You can see we're playing with mainly 1.3s here. You can bump this up to a 1.7 if you want to play with a Stuart, but we're not really going to play with the Stuart because, in my opinion, if you want to play with the Stuart, go play the American tech tree. They got lots of Stuarts. So we'll hop into some games here and give you guys a little play-by-play analysis. We've got the Karelia map. We're going to start in the Daimler Armored Car. These are 49 millimeters, and these are 77. So we're going to bring 20 of these, maybe 10 of these to start. Spawn down here always. So the Daimler Armored Car, what's good about it? Well, it's fast, as long as you stay on the roads. It has an excellent top speed, as well as a reverse speed. It also has 12 degrees of gun depression, which is exceptional. Things it doesn't have is a big crew. It only has 3 crew members, so I would be very careful how much you expose yourself in this tank. It does get smoke grenades, as you can see, which are very handy. Artillery strikes. Even though it's a light tank, it doesn't get scouting capabilities, which I find very odd. But also, all 3 crew members are really huddled up in the middle of the tank, and it's a small tank, so I would not expect to survive if you are hit. You're going to want to kind of creep up on a hill and just sort of shoot over it. That's definitely how this one should be played. His gun depression on this tank is exceptional, but you can see that small objects like logs, fallen trees will definitely cause you problems because you're just a very lightweight car with 4 wheels. Sort of pretend like when you're driving this thing, drive it like a sedan. Like you would drive a sedan. It's not really meant for off-road. But let's give you guys, you can see this gun depression is unreal. You can actually play this hill really well. I'm gonna try and move up though. I can hear an enemy plane, hopefully it doesn't see me. Yeah, changing positions with this tank is not hard at all. You can see it's very good at moving around. A little Russian.
Attention to the designated grid zone. Attention to the designated grid zone.
the fuck is this guy doing? Oh, that's... No good. How the hell did I ricochet? I'm gonna get out of here. You don't want to be in a position for too long with this tank because once the enemy sees you, you're kind of fucked. So you want to use your smoke grenades. Try to get the fuck out of here. Definitely want to be changing positions often. But also be careful that when you relocate, you don't put yourself in a worse position than before. It's also very good for flanking. This tank is very maneuverable, as you can see. Oh yeah. Not ideal right here. Oh my god. That works for us. Oh yeah, just keep on relocating and using this tank's speed to your advantage. You can see the shells are quite destructive. Definitely one of my favorite low-tier British tanks to play. Just very British looking and feeling, this tank. We got a guy trying to creep around here, so we're gonna deal with him. He's probably gonna try... Well, wherever he goes, we got him, so... It sounds like he's coming this way. Yep. Low tier is pretty fun, actually. I haven't played this in a while. Keep forgetting how enjoyable it can be. Don't let anyone tell you that low tier is for noobs or whatever. It's actually really competitive. Oh. Oh. Shit. This would be a good test. When I get out of this fucking hole I put myself in here. Oh god. This is a bad one. Fuck. The problem is the angle of my tank is going into the rock, so I can't drive where I want to drive. But this is a good demonstration of how you gotta be careful with certain kinds of terrain. Especially when you're in these tanks. You can see I just got it out now. And And I'm not sure if we're actually going to get out of here. She's certainly trying. Wow. It's like this rock is just sucking me in. Looks like we might be able to get out here. Yep, there we go. So yeah, just be careful when you're driving this thing. Because you can see it's not hard to get yourself into trouble. Even when you're having a good game. You can quickly end up in a shit show there. Got a tank over here. Miss. Miss. Yeah, you can see this gun is really quick at loading. You get quite a lot of shots off. This guy can take a lot of abuse, it seems. We've hit him with 2 good shots now. And he's just taking it. We're just going to relocate. And that's the mission there. So that's the Daimler armored car lineup. We only really saw the Daimler armored car at that time, but you get the drift. For sure. The British tanks, you actually have a lot of options in the lower tiers. Tanks that I'm not going to show you, but you could play. Valentine, Matilda, Churchill, for sure. It's not my thing. So my next jump for the British I would go from the Daimler armored car up to the Cromwell. And this is not a grinding recommendation, this is like an enjoyment recommendation. Like once you've done the grinding and you have the tanks, these are the lineups I would recommend. So you can see here we made a purchase. This is a premium Cromwell with missiles. And when I bought it, I thought, yeah, oh yeah, missiles on a Cromwell, that sounds freaking awesome. But the problem is, any shrapnel, artillery, any kind of explosion near you will detonate your warheads. And you will... It's like being ammo racked. Except now, instead of your ammo being protected inside your armored casing, the ammo is exposed on the outside of your tank. So it's like strapping TNT to yourself. So this is really... Honestly, I wouldn't buy this tank again if I had the chance. I would just use this. Actually, I like this better. So yeah, we've got the premium Cromwell, the regular Cromwell. So let's just see here. If you don't want to buy the premium Cromwell, which, like I said, I do not recommend, you can run... In replacement of it, I would probably run... If you want to do anti-aircraft, you could do a Crusader or an AEC. And if you want to do tank destroying, you could do an Achilles, which will knock anything out. In fact, I'm going to try an Achilles here. So this will give you guys a better lineup. You could also... So what we're running, we got the Achilles, the Cromwell, Typhoon, Crusader, and the South African Recon car. So that would be my recommended lineup for 3.3. And you can stretch, it depends how you want to play. If you want to do a 3.7, you could do Cromwell 1, Cromwell 5, Sherman 2, right? Pop a Crusader in there. Still play a Recon car, because this thing is viable up until you get this thing. It will keep up. So, yeah, or you could keep it at 3.3, which is what I've done. Tanks you're going to be coming up against will be like early Panzer Force, T-34s, stuff like that. So let's get into the battle. Let's see what happens. But yeah, this is the Cromwell lineup, which is the next lineup I would recommend for enjoyment, other than the Daimler armored car. That's your first one, which is a 1.3, and this is a 3.3. You can see I actually got rid of my premium Cromwell because I don't particularly think it's a great tank. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start in the Cromwell 5. And the difference between the Cromwell 5 and the Cromwell 1 is the Cromwell 1 is a 3.7. It's got a 57mm gun. This has the 75mm gun. But you can see the Cromwell is an exceptional tank. Like, it looks awesome. It's got the Christie suspension system, designed by the American, named John Christie. I can't remember his first name, but his last name's Christie. Mr. Christie, we'll call him. And it just sounds like the Oreo Man. Well, you can see we're keeping up with light tanks here. This is a very fast tank. You can get 20 smoke grenades. One downside of the Cromwell is it has very, very bad reverse speed. Like, I'm talking 2 miles an hour, 1 mile an hour. Very maneuverable, this tank. Really good turret rotation speed, as well as traverse speed of the track. Makes for a very maneuverable... Oh. Don't know how we survived that. We did. Loader's down. I don't think... I'm taking a lot of hits. So you can see the armor of the Cromwell does actually hold up in some situations. Let's try and get out of here now. We deflected quite a few shots there. Oh. That tank got us. You can see he's just camping there. So we have options now. Based on what's going on in this battle, I'm going to choose the South African recon car and just try to take B from them. When you're playing this car, it's got an extremely high profile, no armor, and it doesn't even have a roof. So, expect to die from everything and anything. All you have going for you is your gun. You have a really good gun. Oh god. You have a really good 57mm gun, and you have exceptional speed. And you have decent gun handling as well. But everything else, expect to die. Oh god. Sluggish handling. Top heavy. See if I can take this from them. You can see the machine gun doesn't go very high, which is fucking useless. You do get smoke grenades. You do get the ability to scout tanks. You do get artillery. So it's not all bad, but it's kind of a dinky thing.
Allied forces have captured the zone.
So I can hear tanks to my left. Got its transmission, so we're gonna try and go around them now. This guy's pretty fucked. You can see the way that we shot him, the way that we damaged his transmission, really put him in a bad spot. Oh jeez. That's not good. We got everyone but the gunner, eh? Fuck me. So there you go, taken out by a Panzer III. That's how weak this thing is.
Sorry.
We're gonna come back in the Crusader III now. Which is a quick tank with no armor. You do get the ability to scout. It's got a little bit better armor than the that light tank. I would actually recommend this over that tank I was just playing, because you do get a little bit more armor, and you also have a way lower profile. This guy's a fucking menace. We're gonna have to deal with this guy.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
Yeah, that's the way he wants to play the game, that's fine. So we're gonna come back in the Typhoon. I mean, that guy was just gonna hide behind that building and just go back and forth, no matter what I did. I had a damaged engine, so fuck it. But we're in a Typhoon. This thing has 12 machine guns. See the little holes there? 12 fucking machine guns. And you get 2 500-pound bombs. So, let's make it happen. What do you say? I'm gonna fake out a little bomb run there. Try and get this guy. Not even 12 machine guns is gonna help me there. Might be able to get him on the turnaround. There he goes. And that's what 12 machine guns can do. They are only 7.7 millimeter guns. Nothing too big, but they do the job. Oh. He's down. He's done. I don't really want to... Fuck it. So yeah, now we got the Achilles. If you do play the Typhoon, it's definitely a boom and zoom. It's not really exceptional at turn fighting, but you do get bombs and 12 machine guns, and lots of power. Lots of power. So the Achilles, yeah, we got no roof, but we do have decent armor and a hell of a gun. Turret traverse is almost non-existent. You can see that is actually my turret turning. So don't expect your turret to make its way around the tank anytime soon. I would actually use the hull of the tank to turn this gun primarily. You can see there's one hell of a plane battle going on. Bit of a shame. I wish I was still involved in that, but that'll give you an idea of the Cromwell lineup. For sure. Definitely fun playing at 3.3. I definitely enjoy 3.3. Just an overall good battle rating to play at. So we're gonna go up to the next setup I have, which is based around the Sherman Firefly. So you can see we do have a Sherman Firefly as our main tank, and we have the Concept 3, which is a very fast tank with 10 degrees of gun depression and a nice gun, but no armor. For anti-aircraft, we have this South African freak show here, but it does have a very fast firing 20mm gun. We're running a premium Typhoon for our plane with 2 1,000-pound bombs and Hispano cannons. If you don't want to run a premium, I would highly recommend that you run this Typhoon here. It's more or less identical to the premium Typhoon. You just got to do a bit of grinding to get it. But it comes with those 1,000-pound bombs. And it also comes with the Hispano cannons as well. So, not to worry if you don't want to go this route, but that's what I did. So, if you do want to skip the grind, that's an option. The last tank we have here is the Churchill 7, which is one of the slowest Churchills, but the armor on it is insane. So we have fun with this one, but I wouldn't recommend playing it on any large maps because it's so boring trying to get into position. You really don't want to use the Churchill because you find it slow. You can use the Avenger, which is really ugly, but it does come with a big gun, bigger than the Churchill, and it's a little bit faster. It's based on the Comet platform, so it's a little bit faster than the Churchill. Another option for you, if you don't want to use the Churchill, would be, honestly, not a whole lot. Yeah. I'd say the only healthy alternative in this lineup to the Churchill would be the Avenger. So, and don't expect this thing to do anything special. Like it doesn't, in the city it's not very fast, but in the countryside it's fast. Anywho, this is our 4.7 lineup. So we're going to go ahead and hop right in. And keep in mind, these lineups are based around enjoyment. You know, what tanks define Britain and are fun to play. So we've got the Cromwell, the Achilles, the Crusader, the Daimler armored car, the Churchill, the Sherman Firefly, the Comet, right? So we're going to take our... Actually, this would be a good one for the Churchill. We're going to take our big nasty Churchill, and we're going to drive it right into B. So when you're playing the Churchill, the armor is exceptional. There's very few weak points. The gun's okay. You can see you get decent stats, nothing to shout about. And the speed is horrendous. We're just about up to speed now. Actually, this is the max speed here. So, don't expect to go anywhere quickly. But when you have a plan, like our plan is going to be to take B, sort of hold it, then Churchill's okay. But I wouldn't be moving around the map. I would be picking a spot on the map and holding it with this tank. Because the more you move around, the more you reposition yourself, the longer you expose yourself, because it takes you longer to get there. So if you know a good spot, but it's somewhere far away, chances are on your way over there you're going to get killed. Whereas if you're in a Cromwell or something, you'd make it there no problem. So don't expect to be capping multiple points or doing anything heroic like that with the Churchill. Just try to find the majority of the enemy force and ram the front of your tank into it gradually. Everything's gradual with this tank. Nothing happens fast. We're on pavement right now, so it's turning really well, but normally it doesn't turn quite so well. But it still turns decent. for a tank of this size. You can hear the enemies coming now.
Attention to the map. We're ahead of the enemy.
See how much abuse this tank can take, but we're already... They're gonna flank us now. We have to repair the turret. Yep, there's just too many of them in the end. There's like 4 Shermans with 76mm guns, so
Attention to the map.
that was never gonna happen. But now we can take our Firefly out. You did get to see the Sherman or the Churchill's armor there. We weren't really in trouble until they got around the sides at very close range, so certainly gives you an idea of the potential,
Confirming fire.
even though that wasn't the best display. Our gun got taken out right away and we weren't really able to effectively defend ourselves, and our reverse speed would not have been sufficient to get out of that situation. We were pretty much screwed. We also didn't have any machine guns capable of tracking the enemy. All of my options were nil in that situation. So we're going to try to get into position here with the Sherman Firefly, which is not as well armored as the Churchill, but has a way better gun and is a little bit faster and more maneuverable. It actually has worse gun depression because the way they mounted this gun is they shoved it in the turret sideways to get it to fit. But that's a whole other story. Basically, the Americans had the 75mm in the Sherman, but it wasn't doing good enough against these German tanks, so...
Attention to the map. Thank you.
You can see the reverse speed of this tank is terrible.
The gun crew is ready. Attention to the map.
You don't expect to reverse anywhere in a hurry. And we actually just deflected a shot there, which is really nice. And then our 76, our gun went right through him. Don't know if we can finish this guy from this angle. Yep.
A little more effort, and victory will be ours.
And you can see the Sherman Firefly can bounce shells. It must have some weird angles on it. But you do get smoke shells and all that. Definitely one of my favorite British tanks. And it is an iconic British tank. So the backstory on it is, obviously the Americans had the Sherman platform, which was easy to mass produce and already proven effective. But the British felt that we needed a little bit more firepower. In fact, everybody knew that. The Sherman firepower was excellent against anti-infantry and bunkers and all that, because there's just too many of them. So anyway, it was undeniable that the Sherman was a reliable and efficient platform to produce, but it was agreed that some of the German tanks were just too well armored for the gun. It didn't really have the anti-tank capabilities. So there was a desire to fit a better gun into the Sherman. So the British put the 17-pounder into the Sherman. But in order to do so, they had to reduce the crew size by 1. So get rid of the machine gunner in the hull to allow for more space. And they had to turn the gun on its side. So in order to load the gun, the crew had to be trained in a special manner. Obviously trained to load a gun sideways. And it was very cramped and uncomfortable. And it also took away the gun depression. So it went from like 10 degrees to 6, because the turret would hit the top of the turret, or the gun would hit the top of the turret roof. But they still managed to get the he's camping there. Perfect. You keep camping there, buddy. They still managed to get the gun in there. And it worked. It could take out tigers, panthers, everything from the front. It could engage any German tank from the front. And it was a Sherman. But the Americans hated it. They didn't want any part of it. So only the British and Canadian crews actually used it. But Radley Walters, who was an Allied tank commander, and he destroyed the most German tanks out of anyone. And he was in a Firefly. What by? How's that one feel, buddy? Fucking hate campers. If you're gonna camp in this game, you deserve to be bombed. The way I see it.
A little more effort and victory will be ours.
Like, that guy was gonna camp there all game. Yeah, and his little tank destroyer behind a bush. And if somebody came to cap, he was gonna turn like he killed me. And if somebody came from a distance, he was gonna turn slightly and shoot them from a distance, so I have no problem killing people like that with a plane. In fact, I took this plane to specifically kill that guy. But yeah, this version of the Typhoon, compared to the version that we were flying in our Cromwell lineup, it's just a bit more maneuverable, a bit faster, a bit better built. And it also has cannons, 20mm cannons, instead of the 12 machine guns, so it's actually better armed. The cannons are better, undeniably, and you get 1,000-pound bombs, 2,000-pound bombs instead of 500-pound bombs. So That's certainly a plus as well. But yeah, I don't even know if we're going to get back into the battle here or not, but we're going to try and reload our bombs and get back in. If we can.
Enemy forces have captured a zone. Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
The pros of this plane are it's incredibly fast. Actually turns pretty good too.
Another zone captured, we have the advantage.
So hopefully we can target another enemy vehicle with our bombs. And then we're going to just shoot our guns till we're out of ammo. It appears I have a text message on my phone, which is weird. It's pretty late here right now, so I'm definitely not expecting any text messages. But I can actually see an enemy plane here. So we're gonna try and knock him out. He's being real crafty too. Oh, he's already gone. Which is really good for us. That's the end of the game. But yeah, that's the Sherman Firefly lineup. Just gives you a little idea of what we're dealing with when we play this 4.7 here. Decent game. But yeah, this is probably the best tank in the lineup here. The Firefly itself. And if you want a bit more armor, less firepower, you can go Churchill. But if you want to go faster, you can go Concept 3. This actually highlights pretty well how they got the gun in. You can see it's kind of turned on its side. So the loader kind of over here. And there's the ammo where the machine gunner would be. There's no machine gun anymore. But the upside of that is the ability to go through any German tank from the front. Right? Whereas the Americans were convinced. Oh, they were convinced that this tank was better. Which you can see, it's not. But they were still able to put their 5 crewmen in, right? And there was more room in the turret, so they stuck with their design. It is what it is. History doesn't write itself. It's written by those in power at the time, right? Certainly not me. So we're going up to the Comet now, which is at 5.7. Your main tank in this lineup is obviously going to be the Comet, which is just a better Cromwell. You've got 12 degrees of gun depression. You've got a 77mm cannon. And you've got decent turret armor. I say decent, it's very random. Sometimes you'll get shot and it won't kill you. Sometimes you get shot and it will. Don't rely on it, but it can work. You also get the ability to fire APDS, armor-piercing discarding sabot shells, which is really rare at 5.7 for a medium tank. You can see you got 199 penetration on these shells. Just don't hit anything at 60 degrees because it goes down to 76 millimeters. But pretty incredible shell there. The machine guns are terrible. You don't have any anti-aircraft defense or anything like that. The reverse speed is terrible. But other than that, it's a really, really nice tank. Low profile, 12 degrees of gun depression. Pretty much puts this gun to the floor. So that leaves us with what can we play with the Comet, right? So not a whole lot, to be honest. You can take it up to 6.0 if you want. I don't recommend that. So I'm not going to show you that. I have the AC4 in here, which is a premium tank, and it's certainly a strong choice. It's a unique tank. You can't really get it in the tech tree. It's got a really nice gun. Same gun as the Comet, minus the discarding sabot shells. But the shell that it does get is still very comparable at 172 millimeters of pen. So that would be my recommendation, but if you're absolutely opposed to premium tanks, honestly, your next best bet is going to be the Concept. And I know it's only a 4.3, but it still has that yikes. No, I wouldn't use the Concept. I would use the Challenger. Because the Challenger gets the sabot shell. As well as the 172. So if you don't want to use the if you don't want to go premium, the Challenger would be your next bet. You could also use the Sherman Firefly because it has that 171 pen. Downsides of this being it's a high profile, not great gun depression, slower than everybody else at the battle rating tank, but you still get the gun. So yeah, this lineup is definitely the scarcest one here. So your main tank would be the Comet. I would play the Concept 3 as like your light scouty tank, still viable. This would be my recommendation, but if you don't want to do that, then I would go Challenger. For your anti-aircraft tank, I actually don't have it unlocked yet, but I would go Skink. For sure, Skink would be way to go. But if you don't have the Skink, you can still use this little guy, which is what I'm doing. And then for your plane, I'm using a premium wing-clipped Spitfire, which you really don't have to have. This one comes with a 500-pound bomb, 20 millimeter and 12.7 millimeter guns. And one hell of a platform. You can see it goes up to 730 kilometers an hour, turns in 20 seconds. It's actually kind of a boomy zoomy plane here, but let's just say you don't want to do premium. Then you could definitely, there's a ton of options here. The Sea Furies and the Sea Fires, they all come with, holy shit, big ass rockets and bombs. These Seafires, they come with bombs and rockets. Wouldn't recommend any of this shit. You could always do your classic Spitfire. You still get one bomb, but you'd be more of a fighter platform. This one here, actually. Yeah, here's where I would go. If you don't, I would actually go Tempest for sure. Yep. The Tempest Mark V comes with 4 Hispano cannons and 2,000-pound bombs. And it's on the Tempest platform, which is very competitive. So, I would get yourself a Tempest if you don't want to do the premium. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna put this little guy in here. Red Angel. Holy shit. It's fucking insane. What do those look like? Wow. It's gonna fuck you up. Yeah, okay. So let's play some games of the Comet and see how this lineup pans out. And like I said, even if you have to do Comet, Challenger, Skink, Concept, Tempest, it's still a great lineup. So don't be too discouraged by the fact that I have 2 premiums in this lineup, because their alternatives are very viable. The Challenger certainly is not as good as the Sentinel, but it's still competitive. So as you can see in the sand, the Comet can still move. And with the discarding Sabo shells, there's like no space between the lines and your crosshair. You can really get those shots off reliably. And you do have 12 degrees of gun depression, so... See if we can get through this guy's armor here. You see the discarding Sabo shell just went right through that Panther. Like butter.
Attention to the designated grid square. Thanks. Allied forces have captured a zone.
Oh no.
Attention to the map.
So you can go right through Panthers, right? But they can also go right through you. So there's that. But you saw we were able to get into a great position and do some damage. So now we're in the Sentinel. Very similar to the Comet, except that you don't get the discarding Sabo shell. But you still get a very competitive 171 pen shell. APB BC. Armor-piercing ballistic cap shell. Okay. Armor-piercing cap, ballistic cap shell. Oh, that is really confusing. But yes, that one.
We're winning.
That was one hell of an explosion.
Attention to the map.
You can see how easily our gun will punch through the front of a Tiger. And that's one little trick with the Hellcats. If you do
Let's keep the pressure on.
damage them with your main
Victory is
shell,
close.
if their commander's still alive, you can shoot the commander with the machine gun. Sometimes it'll quickly finish them off, as we did. But we're going to take C from them, and then we're going to try and finish this one off here. Although it looks to be finished already by, you can see our strong map position here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Allied forces have captured the
Thanks.
zone.
Did get a good hit on him there. But unfortunately, he got a shot on us as well. So we're going to take the Spitfire out now. This particular Spitfire can get up to 700 kilometers an hour, which is insane. Very good at chasing. So I can see a Tiger here, and that's going to be my primary target. Yeah, that's the end of him, but I mean, our bomb didn't exactly go off as planned, did it? So, sucks to suck. Yeah, that's the Comet lineup. So I hope that gave you guys an idea throughout this video of what it might be like to play Britain and some of the more enjoyable lineups that you can create once you have the tanks that you need. And where does it go from here? Well, there's plenty of potential in the later South African vehicles, such as the Eland. This is sort of like the Daimler armored car's big brother. Keep in mind it is harder to play at 7.0, where machine guns and everything else will go right through you, but this is a fun tank to play. Um, in addition to this, you also get vehicles like the G6, which I can't say I have played, but looks to have very strong potential. Um, in fact, I have no idea how this thing would play, but certainly looks interesting. Um, from there, you can go through these Centurions, different variants that you can unlock. Some of the tank destroyers are just ridiculous. I would not play these, nor do I have any interest in these. I do like the Warrior. I think the Warrior is a really cool tank. Unfortunately, it is locked behind those uh, fucking weird ass tank destroyers, but the Warrior is definitely something I would consider playing or working towards. Um, the Chieftains, you get up to 9.0 here, but these are some nice looking tanks, and classic. And then you get up to the Challengers. So there's definitely potential. I also forgot to mention the Roy Cats. Here's the first one here, 8.3. These are really fun tanks. Really fast. Sort of glass cannon tanks with an APFS DS, armored piercing fin stabilized discarding Sable. Some tongue twister. So yeah, there's plenty of potential in the British tech tree. They've definitely got a well-rounded tree. Don't really have any of their later planes, so I can't speak for any of them. Although there is some like badass factor in something like a Harrier. Hey, look at that. That just looks awesome. Certainly some ground target potential as well. Jesus. Yeah. So I'd say Britain is a really great tech tree. Don't really play their helicopters, but sure they'd be fun as well. The Lynx. It's an iconic helicopter. So yep, that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. What do I think of Britain? Well, I think they're great, but I think once you get up to the Comet, you should really consider. So that's what, 3 rank. So once you get to the top of 3 rank, really consider whether you want to go further, because the vehicles after 3 rank start to get pretty strange, and they're not all fantastic. That's all I'm gonna say. But if you know how to play them and you like them, there's certainly some iconic tanks to be had, such as the Centurions, Chieftains, and the like. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Please be sure to subscribe. Leave us a like and a comment, and we'll catch you next time.